Hey, this is Darren from Property Prosperity. I hope you're all enjoying watching the Olympics, and I hope you're excited about the fact we're doing pretty well, which is all good. So, yeah, I just thought I'd have a chat to you tonight about another observation I've noticed since I've been looking at the Olympics, and something that again, really doesn't, a lot of people don't even realise this is an important thing, but one thing you're going to notice about all these Olympic athletes that they all have in common is the fact they pretty much all have coaches. There's not really, you wouldn't even think about going to the Olympics and trying to achieve any particular goal without having a coach. In life, in our own lives and stuff, we don't necessarily have a coach. And I suppose part of that is because they don't necessarily know what a coach is. They know in the world of sport what, you just have a coach, and regardless of what level of sport you're playing in, you generally have someone that can coach you through the process. But a lot of people don't necessarily know what the role of the coach is, and the role of the coach is not necessarily to be better than you or be an expert. If you think of someone like Michael Phelps, winning 20 gold medals and breaking all these world records and all that sort of stuff, he doesn't have to find someone that's won more gold medals than he has, and he doesn't have to find someone that's broken more world records than he has. Because the role of the coach isn't there to be better than you. The role of the coach, it's threefold really. The first thing of the role of the coach is to sort of guide you through the process. And guiding you through the process doesn't mean they have to know necessarily or be more skilled than you. They've just gone off and have a structured approach of how you can try and achieve your goals. And what this does, it just streamlines the process for you. It means you don't have to go and, go around and around in circles and just try and work out what you can do. They can go off, research, prepare, come to you with a structure or with an approach, and then you can refine that, or you can work with them to try and refine that. And then the next thing they try and do is they, help, once they've worked out where you're going to, then they can start to guide you through that process, and then they can keep you accountable. Because they're keeping you accountable, you've got someone to talk to say, hey, well, you said about achieving this goal, and this is where you're at. This is why you need to, either revise your goal or try a little bit harder or do something slightly different, or, so you can constantly have someone that's independent, objective, that's not you, I suppose. It's easy to be caught up in the moment and get distracted, whereas when you've got someone that's, looking at it from a different perspective, they can then look at you and say, hey, well, you said you were going to do this, why haven't you done it? At the end of the day, you can have all the excuses under the sun, but when you've got an objective person saying, well, what have you actually done with your time to try and achieve what you wanted to achieve? And then you can sort of reflect on it and think, well, maybe I should have been using my time more effectively. So, so firstly, they guide you through the process. Secondly, they make you accountable to say, hey, you've said you were going to achieve this, and this is what you need to do to achieve it. But you haven't done it. So how are you expecting to achieve your goal if you haven't done the steps to get to your goal? The final thing is they just keep you focused. Sometimes what happens in life and in general, you just get distracted. There's so many things that you need to think about, and there's so many, well, I suppose in the world of property, there's so many shiny objects, there's so many opportunities out there that it's easy to get distracted and say, hey, look over there, and look over there, and look at this opportunity over here, and look at that opportunity over there, when you don't necessarily finish off what you've set out to achieve in the first place. So another benefit of having a coach is you've got someone objective that can just look at what you've set out to achieve, guide you through that process, and then keep you really laser focused on this is what you said you were going to do, and this is where we're going to go, and this is what you need to focus on to try and get to that goal. So I know this relates to the Olympics, and I know for a lot of people that have done sport before, you go, well, that's total common sense why you would need a coach. But the crazy thing is, for most people, they don't apply this in their day-to-day lives. And maybe in a workplace, if you're working in a work environment, you might have your boss, might be that coach or that person that can give you that guidance and the accountability, and also give you the focus on how you're trying to achieve what you're trying to achieve day to day. But outside of the work environment, that's part of the issue with property and property investment or property development, or a whole pile of different strategies as far as property goes. Quite often you're doing it by yourself. You don't have someone that's external outside to try and guide you through the process. So because of that, you quite often get distracted, and that's why you see a lot of people, they talk about getting into property. Everyone says, oh, I really want to get into property. But when you talk to people, most people don't have a property investment, or they only have one, or two max is probably the norm. And so if it's such a good deal to get into property and everyone thinks they're going to make lots of money out of property, why is it people only buy one property? Why they don't buy more than one property? It's because they just get distracted along the way. They don't have the guidance, they don't necessarily have the focus, and they're not keeping themselves accountable to try and achieve their goals. Because at the end of the day, if you get to retirement and you've got one property, it's probably not going to make that big a difference. You need lots of properties if you're looking at setting yourself up for retirement. One or even two or even three is not probably going to be enough for you. So you really need to have a strategic plan of how you're trying to achieve your goals, and then take each step as it comes and just keep heading towards that direction. And then when you're set to retire and you've got 10, 15, 20 properties, then you've set yourself up and you can obviously sell 5 or sell 10 or whatever it is, pay down the debt on the other ones, and then you've got 5 or 10 freehold properties. Imagine if they were earning $300 a week in rent, and you suddenly got 10 of them and they're all freehold. That's $3,000 a week. You've got something to live off then. So you can see how easy it is to set yourself up for retirement. But if you lose that focus or that direction along the way, it's easy to sort of get distracted. And then before you know, you've retired and you've only got one property, and for a lot of people that might even be good. If you quite some people are going to retire and they don't have any properties, and then they're what are you going to do then? You're relying on the government. Unfortunately, the way the world's set up now is the government just can't afford all these people that are going to be retiring. There's more and more people going to retire. There's greater and greater population that are over 65 now, and then how are they going to afford to try and cover the cost? We've got less and less people paying taxes and more people drawing on the taxes. So at some point in time, there's going to be a crisis, and then what are you going to do? So I think now's the time to really get focused and really start to have a plan of how you're going to set yourself up for retirement. So you're not relying on the government. So you have that confidence of, I know where I want to get to. I know what I do have to get there, and how I'm going to achieve it. So one of the answers might be to get yourself a coach, and that doesn't necessarily have to be someone you pay money to, but try and find someone that can keep you accountable, keep you focused, try and give you some guidance along the way, and then hopefully you can achieve what you're trying to achieve. And when you retire, then you can sit back and relax and just enjoy the effort and the time you put in to make sure you've set yourself up for retirement. So hopefully that's made sense. If you've liked what I had to say, then click on the like button. If you haven't liked what I say, then still click on the like button anyway. I'd really appreciate it. And if you know someone that's seems like they're a little bit distracted, or they're not really sure their direction, and they want to get into property but they're not really sure what to do, then maybe click on the share button. So hopefully this will give them a bit more guidance. And I look forward to catching up with you again next time. If you've got something else you'd like to talk about, or you've noticed something on the Olympics that you think might apply to the world of property, then happy for you to put a comment in the comment box, and I look forward to talking again soon. Bye.